There are three words today that are the key to managing the escalating cost of doing business in the textile industry: efficiency, productivity, and Belmont. We are a company committed to your bottom line by producing highly efficient products that increase your productivity and your profit. That's why we at Belmont Textile Machinery Company are proud to present our die application and fixation system designed to dramatically cut costs while delivering greatly enhanced styling potential. The Belmont MDS yarn dyeing system can produce short and long space dyed yarn with spacing from 1/2 inch to 60 inches or more, as well as solid shade dyeing. In the standard configuration, 36 ends of single or plied yarn are brought from the creel through the Belmont pneumatic tension equalizing system across variable speed overfeed rolls in a warp into the pre-steamer. This 3-foot 3/16 stainless steel unit steam heats and moistens the yarn in preparation for dyeing. From here, the yarn moves into the heart of our system, the patented Belmont MDS-3 yarn dye applicator. There is not another in the world like it. With full 8-color capability and production rates of well over 12,000 pounds a day, this state-of-the-art unit is unmatched in efficiency, styling, versatility, and depth and clarity of color. In addition, this method of application does not require the recirculation of dyestuffs. Consequently, there is no contamination of the dye liquor and no problems with color deviation during a dye run. The dye liquor is applied by 8 separate dye rolls, allowing for distinct and accurate color separation. Each dye roll is independently controlled by AC inverters and motors, allowing for subtle alterations in shades by varying the speed of the rolls and thus the amount of dye placed on the yarn. Spacing is achieved by the use of 8 individual pattern rolls. Each features 2 fixed lobes and is operated by an independent servo motor controlled by a microprocessor. These rolls systematically press the yarn against the dye rolls, producing the pattern. The use of the microprocessor for print control allows for extremely long pattern repeat lengths of as much as 2,000 inches or more and infinitely variable spot lengths within the pattern. This is critical to prevent the carpet from developing lines or chevroning within the pattern. This problem occurs when the pattern repeat lengths are too short and like colors fall adjacent to one another in the finished product. The MDS-3's pattern repeat capabilities are 2.5 times greater than any other system available at the time of this production. Patterns are designed offline with a program based on a standard Microsoft Excel spreadsheet. All operating parameters are selected, including yarn speed, belt speed, spot length, and applicator roll speed. A template is provided, allowing the designer to quickly build a pattern spot by spot with a simple click of the mouse. Colors are selected from the palette approximating those to be used in the pattern. Each is then assigned to one of 8 dye pans in the applicator. Individual spot lengths are easily placed in order on the spreadsheet, thus creating the pattern. Total pattern length and color percentages are automatically calculated as the pattern is built. As many as 250 spots can be used in developing a single pattern. When the pattern is finished, it can be condensed onto a single page, printed and inspected for color groupings and false pattern repeats. If alterations are necessary, individual color percentages can be adjusted automatically throughout the pattern by entering the desired change in the pop-up window. This feature, unique to the MDS-3, can also be used to reduce the actual print area within a spot, which makes managing color bleed a snap. Operating parameters for producing the pattern are designated at the top of the screen. Upon completion, this profile table, including the pattern itself, is downloaded into the system microprocessor by disk. Here, up to 15 complete patterns can be stored at any given time in a password-protected file and can be retrieved in as little as 5 seconds. And since pattern changes can be accomplished so quickly, this allows for the economical production of small dye lots and samples. The MDS-3 is also capable of producing solid shade yarns without any manual alteration of the machine. The change from space dyeing to solid dyeing can be achieved in as little as 15 seconds. Adjacent to the applicator is a day tank and level control system. The dye liquor is gravity-fed through a series of flexible hoses from either the customer-supplied tank farm or the day tank. No pumps are necessary to transfer dye, thus eliminating the need for costly pump maintenance. Switching from the tank farm to the day tanks is as easy as opening one valve and closing another for each color. Consequently, switching from a sample run to a production run can be accomplished in a matter of minutes. From the applicator, the dyed yarn, still in a warp, passes through a post-steaming process, which lightly sets and stabilizes the dye before the yarn enters the coiling mechanism. The coiler places the yarn in 16-inch coils and deposits it on an 18-inch wide perforated stainless steel belt, which travels through the steam fixation, post-wash, and drying chambers. Placing the yarn in large coils enables the belt to carry very high densities of yarn while maintaining relatively low belt speeds. This is important to allow the yarn extended dwell time for fixation and drying. The dye fixation steamers come in 10-foot modules. In the standard configuration, 3 steamers are used, but more can be added for increased fixation time. Live steam, or steam from the wet sump, is forced throughout the yarn coil by means of a variable speed 3-horsepower centrifugal stainless steel blower. All internal components are constructed using 316 stainless steel. After the dye is fixed, the yarn travels through a post-wash and extraction system. This process removes any dye residue by washing the yarn with water sprayed from nozzles located above the coil. The water, along with excess dye stuffs, is then extracted from the yarn with a 15-horsepower suction fan and stainless steel separator. Next, it's on to the dryer. This 20-foot unit consists of 4 separate zones, each with individually controlled heating coils, and 7.5-horsepower variable speed centrifugal blowers, all regulated by AC inverters. The high volumes of heated air that pass through these chambers make this unit one of the most efficient dryers in the industry, often doing the work of 2 or 3 competing dryers its size. It is this efficiency level that guarantees maximum throughput. Once again, all operating parameters are controlled by the system microprocessor at the operator console. After leaving the dryer, the yarn is cooled by dual vacuum fans and accumulated for winding. The accumulation system can be customized to give you the time you need for the automatic doffing winder to operate without requiring belt stoppage. A Belmont 36-spindle automatic doff take-up, model AD35, comes as the standard winder. But once again, we can design the MDS continuous yarn dyeing system to meet your needs with up to 48 spindles or more. The patented doffing mechanism on our winders leads the industry in efficiency with less downtime and lower operating cost. Well, there you have it, the MDS dye application and fixation system. Let's quickly recap as we follow the yarn through the process. The yarn comes from the creel, through the Belmont pneumatic tension equalizing system, and into the pre-steamer in a warp. Here the yarn is moistened in preparation for dyeing. Next, it's on to the patented MDS-3 dye applicator. 8 individually controlled pattern rolls systematically press the yarn against the 8 dye rolls, producing the pattern and providing distinct color separation. Spot lengths can vary from 1/2 inch to over 60 inches and even solid shade dye. The pattern is constructed on a Microsoft Excel template. All operating parameters are chosen here as well. Patterns are then downloaded to the microprocessor, where up to 15 patterns can be stored and retrieved in as little as 5 seconds. From the applicator, the yarn passes through the post-steamer to lightly set the color. The coiler then places the yarn in 16-inch coils and deposits it onto an 18-inch stainless steel belt. The coiled yarn then passes through a series of steamers to complete the dye fixation process. These modular steamers come in 10-foot sections, allowing us to configure the system to meet your needs. After a quick rinse to remove the dye residue, it's onto the dryer. This incredibly efficient unit allows for maximum drying and throughput. The yarn is then accumulated for winding. This end of the system can also be custom configured to allow you ample time for winding with the Belmont AD35 automatic DOF take-up winder. As you can see, the Belmont MDS dye application and fixation system was designed with one thing in mind: your bottom line. Downtime and equipment problems cost money. That's the reason for this system's low maintenance design and why our on-site training and after-the-sales support are second to none. By providing a superior, dependable product and impeccable customer service, Belmont Textile Machinery Company has become and will continue to be the leader in the textile machine industry. When you're considering your bottom line, consider Belmont.